Good afternoon, my YouTube viewers. It is Palestine here. I wanted to make another video for you. I think that the last video I made was on Saturday, and I was telling you that I completed my cancer treatment and that I was exhausted. And I also made about 3 videos, which I went through and made those videos private. And there's a reason for that, because I didn't want any comeback. I didn't want anybody saying that I was saying anything critical. And so even though I wasn't saying anything critical, I was just saying what happened. And then if people want to take that as being a criticism, that's up to them. But I just decided to be on the safe side to just make those 3 videos private, because I was very upset whenever I made the videos. Now I have a cold. I'm just getting over the cold. I was really sick. On Saturday, when I made the video, I was sick. I was probably sick on the Friday, but I was definitely sick on Saturday, and then I was sick on Sunday. I was sick on Monday, and I'm starting to feel a little bit better today, but I'm still sneezing and coughing a little bit. But I just wanted to say that September was a very busy month, a very stressful month for me, because I had to do my radiotherapy. So I had an appointment to get measured and everything for the radiotherapy, and I believe that was in September. I don't remember exactly what day it was, but I believe it was in September. And so I had problems getting my aromatase inhibitors. I had to keep asking the my GP to prescribe the aromatase inhibitors. But finally, after about a month, he received a letter from the oncologist, and he started prescribing me the aromatase inhibitors. And then on September 17th, I had my 8 sessions of radiotherapy. And so the first 5 sessions were going to be radiotherapy to the breast, and then the last 3 sessions were just going to be radiotherapy to where the tumor was. So the first 5 sessions went okay, except for last week I was late for work. And the reason why the first time I was late for work is because the radiotherapy session was scheduled to be at 9:30 or 9:40 or something like that. And I didn't actually finish until 9:40, and I had my boyfriend with me. So we got some breakfast, and I was about 10 minutes late for work, and I had to apologize to my coworker for being late for work because I had a medical appointment. And then on the Tuesday, my appointment was like at 9:50, and they were late seeing me, half an hour late seeing me. So that meant I was an hour late for work, but I was able to get some food at the dining facility and take it into the office and eat it. On the Wednesday, because last week the radiotherapy machine was broken. They have 2 radiotherapy machines. 2 of them broke down. Both of them broke down, and then they got one working. So they were having to do all of the radiotherapy appointments on the one radiotherapy machine that hadn't been broken. And for that reason, my radiotherapy appointments were delayed, overrun. So they canceled my appointment on Wednesday, because Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday were supposed to be the appointments whenever I had the boost to the tumor. So they were going to do it on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And no, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then, so I went in on Thursday, and I was late. It ran over. So, no, it didn't run over, but even though it didn't run over because it was a late appointment, I was still late getting into work but I was able to get some breakfast at the canteen and take it into the office and eat it. And then on Friday, they wanted me to go to another town, which I didn't want to do, and that caused some problems because I don't drive. I don't know where that hospital is. I don't think they should have asked a person who doesn't drive to go to another hospital for radiotherapy treatment. And then I didn't want to do that, so they kept me in the town I live in, but they said it was going to take a while to see me. And then on the Friday I got in, and then they said, oh, well, I said, well, what time is my appointment for Saturday? And they said it was at 9:55, and I said, well, it's not supposed to be 9:55. They said that they would make it at 9 o'clock. And so there were some problems there because I just told my boyfriend, I said, well, I'm not going to go to the appointment then. If they're not going to make it 9 o'clock, I'm not going to go to the appointment. And then that causes problems as well because you're supposed to go to your final appointment. The reason why you're supposed to go to your final appointment is because you're supposed to have all the treatments that they say you're supposed to have. And if you don't have all the treatments that they say you're supposed to have, the cancer can come out. But fortunately, they said that they would see me at 9 o'clock. And then so I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to be delayed or not. So I brought my clothes to the wedding with me to the hospital. And then fortunately, they saw me at 9 o'clock. And then, but after I had my radiotherapy treatment, I put on the dress that I was intending to wear to the wedding, and my boyfriend put the other dress that I was wearing in his rucksack. So he had to carry a rucksack to the wedding because of all of this. And then so we went into town, and I was sick. If you watch my video, you can probably tell that I was sick. I was sick, and I was mentally exhausted. And some people were telling me to have a good time at the wedding. Well, the wedding was for my boyfriend's ex-wife. I don't know why she invited us, but she did. And I didn't know very many people because all the people were either friends of the bride or friends of the groom. And I was like a friend of the bride, sort of, because I always say hello to her when I see her. And then, so I didn't know anybody. So, and I was sick. So how could I have a good time when I didn't know anybody and I was sick? And so after the wedding, and it was a beautiful wedding. It was at St. Paul's Cathedral. It was a beautiful wedding. It really was beautiful, lovely. But they all went after the wedding, which everything ended at about 5. So they all went out to dinner, but we weren't invited because I'm sure that the ex-husband and ex-girlfriend's not going to be invited. So then what we did was we went to Five Guys, and we had a burger at Five Guys, and I got food on my dress. And the reason for that is because at Five Guys, they give you a really big burger, but they don't give you a knife and a fork to eat it with. And then so we went home, and then I was exhausted, so I went to bed. And then I got up Sunday morning, and I was supposed to pick up a tablet from somebody. Somebody was giving me their old tablet. And so I wanted to stay in bed, but I couldn't stay in bed because I had to go pick up this tablet. And then, so we went to church, and then I made a Spam sandwiches for lunch and got some Cheetos. And then I laid down for half an hour, and then we went to a food handout, came back from the food handout, and I lay down for 15 minutes. And then I changed clothes, changed into a black dress. And I don't really like my appearance anyway. I don't like the way I look, definitely. And I went to the confirmation, and I couldn't not go to the confirmation because I was going to be one of the people being confirmed. So we went to the confirmation. So we didn't get home after the confirmation. My boyfriend wanted to stay and talk to people, so we didn't get home till about 9:30. So I just had really, all of September was just cram-packed full of appointments and events and everything else. And then I had to get up and go to work the following day. And I would have liked to have stayed in bed, but I didn't. I went to work even though I was sick, because it's frowned upon if you take off sick days. And so so I have somebody who I give food to, and then I phoned him up and I said, I've got a cold. I haven't taken a COVID test, but if you're worried about getting COVID, I won't be offended if you don't stay. So he came, and I gave him the food and said goodbye, and I said, I'll text you next week. So that was it. That was my month. That was all of September. Very stressful, a lot going on, lots to do. And I've just basically told you about my out of work activities. There's also activities going on at work that I can't talk about. Some things went on today, and so I'm still really stressed out about these work-related activities that I cannot discuss. But you can see that I've got non-work-related activities and work-related activities that are causing me a lot of stress. So hopefully, my cancer treatment, hopefully that's finished. I did get a letter from the diabetic eye clinic, and that appointment has been changed to 13 October, which is a Monday. So I'm going to have to ask if I can have the Monday off and then work on the Friday, which is not something that I want to do because I like having my Fridays off. But because I've got this doctor's appointment, I have to do it that way. Excuse me. But it's not something I want to do. But that's just another thing about, me having to juggle my doctor's appointments with my work. So next week I have to ask, can I have the Monday off to go to this doctor's appointment and then just work on the Friday? And that means I won't be able to go to the coffee morning, which I like to go to. And also today, since I finished most of my work for the end of the month, and also today I wrote my thank you card to the cancer center, and I went into the distribution office and I asked him, I said, can I send this card to the cancer center? So I did actually write my thank you card to the cancer center. So that's the bulk of my September. Hopefully my cancer treatment will be over. I do want to make some more videos concerning cancer, but this hopefully will be the conclusion of my personal cancer treatment. But there's some other issues which I haven't talked about concerning cancer, and so I'd like to make videos on that as well and talk about my perspective of it. So that concludes this video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe, and I look forward to making some more videos for you about cancer very soon.